All right, we call our Civic Center Commission meeting for September 25th to order. Has everybody had a chance to review the minutes of our last meeting? Motion will be to accept the minutes.
I'd make that motion, Mr. Chairman.
Second?
Second.
So moved. Item number 3, community. Let's skip 2 for a minute, and we'll go to number 3, the community day application, just to appease our guests.
I have to print out the application docs. My apologies.
That's
So yes, Sasha Pasternak, also last year, UMass started doing this, DCF started doing this directly without UMass being their intermediary. So this is the repetitive, thankfully, annual event they do with their families in DCF to give them kind of a holiday celebration. And so Sasha's here, she can kind of maybe speak more on the details of any questions you have.
Yeah, good morning, welcome.
Morning.
We can't hear you.
Are you muted?
Not. You can't
We're
hear
not
me?
picking up your mic.
She's not muted.
Oh.
Hang on.
Is someone else who is remote potentially try to say something?
Kate, can you say
Yeah,
hello?
okay, I'm unmuted. I can
You're
hear,
also not coming through. We
Yeah,
can't take you.
Interesting.
I can hear Sasha.
Else can hear me?
You can hear us.
Yeah.
Sasha, can you hear me? Because I can hear
Yes.
you.
Still
Okay,
can't hear
so
you.
I'm gonna text Sandy.
Ah, there
that
you
we
go.
can- Got it?
Got it.
Do you
Hear
have
me
us?
too?
Yeah, we're good.
Good. I mean, we could hear each other. So we were like, oh, interesting.
All right, go ahead, you have the floor.
Hello there. So I am attending today to discuss the annual DCU event that we have graciously been able to do for the past several years now. I think it might be more than 7 years. I think it might be more than that at this point. So the DCU offers the Worcester East and Worcester West area offices for DCF to provide a holiday party for foster children. We are able to invite up to 400 foster parents and foster children and their families to this event where food is generously provided to us. The piece that UMass still is usually involved in, although we're still waiting to hear this year, is the police department there offers to do a toy drive for us, which is really amazing. We actually often have more toys than we know what to do with for children. And so we have, at the event, we have all kinds of activity tables for the kids to participate in out in the hallway. So there are different stations where they can do crafts and other activities, and also be inside the ballroom spending time with their families and with us, doing food and some other activities, again, doing the toys and things like that. So it's really a magical event. I think that everybody who attends is sort of reinvigorated. It's really nice for DCF to be able to be a part of this because we get to see a lot of foster children there together with their families, and it's just a very happy event for them. Obviously, being in foster care is not always easy, and to offer a happy, different event that feels so magical. We also bring Santa in, and there's music and things like that, that it's just it's an exciting day for everybody.
Very good, thank you. So you guys are work schedule-wise and all that?
Yeah, terrific event.
Yeah.
I'm doing the dates on hold for them.
All right, good. Any comments from any of the commissioners on this?
Just sounds like a great community event.
And thank you for your timely application submittal.
I appreciate it.
I think it's a great event, and I think it's always been great. I think we've always done it too over the years too, which is fabulous. And The motion here would be to approve the event for that evening.
I'd make that motion, Mr. Chairman.
Second?
Second.
So moved. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, thanks for having
I'll
me.
be in touch with you.
Okay, thank you. Take care.
Thank you.
All right, on to number 2, City of Worcester project status update.
Okay. So, we actually have been getting some things done while you're away. It hasn't been completely nothing. So I'll run through it. I'll go through the major highlights in the update. I'm not gonna review everything. The trash room right now, we ran into some delays that were, I think you were even aware, just before we left in June, we were trying to chase down some permit stuff to get it moving, or the contract. Well, that kind of dragged a little bit, and we ended up losing the first 2 weeks of July of work waiting for the permit. We got the permit in, but losing 2 of your 8 weeks of construction and the way it laid out really slowed that thing down to a halt. We're now, tomorrow, we're gonna finish pouring the new floor for the trash room. And then next week, they're gonna start building the masonry walls, and we're probably gonna get some of the plumbing work done. We have their grease pump system that we've rolled into this project is gonna be installed, they believe, next week. So they can finally resolve that part of it. And so that's moving forward, but it has pushed the current substantial completion date out to mid-October. But that's also just, right now it's a holder, because we've run into obviously a lot more events that we're now trying to manage around. So even some of the floor work, we had to kind of hold off because it was loud enough. It was affecting events on the 3rd floor in the convention center. So ASM correctly asked the contractor not to do that, and so they held off. They missed a couple days because that was kind of the critical next step. But the contractor's been working with us, no problem on that, and ASM obviously is doing the same. Anytime they can, they're letting them come in and do the work they can do. So right now, I would not be surprised if that substantial completion date slips into November a little. Some of it's like when you build the mortar into the new masonry wall, it's got to have a little bit of time to cure before you can start painting it. And so there's just some steps that are going to kind of slow it down, but once those walls get in, the impact to ASM is so much less because it's not noise, it's more, and they can work from the inside out a lot, so they really won't be impacting the rest of the swing hall like they've been doing to the level they have. So it's moving forward. We've currently don't have any change orders pending, other than moving the substantial completion date, which at least to October 16th, they also indicated was a no-cost change. It wasn't adding costs for the delay. It was just setting the contract date appropriately because August 31st was the date, so we had to at least get that in place. There's a couple items that are potential change orders, but right now there's no significant expected impact. It would be minor change orders as far as we understand right now. So that's the trash room update. It is moving along. We are making good progress now. The freight elevator, we actually have a meeting with the ASM Global personnel and our designer tomorrow to start doing a little bit of a page turner so they can kind of see exactly where we're at in the design. The hope is to have that bid out and contracted by the end of the calendar year. So again, we're prepared for next summer's install. We can get all our paperwork done, lead items that may apply. Hopefully will fit right into our schedule and not impact our plan to get this done next summer. Revolving door replacement. We got the geotech work done outside. Now what we're doing is they've got some analysis of the soils. They're waiting on some test reports to come back. And then they're gonna write out their report and recommendation that the architect will use in figuring out how to deal with the exterior sidewalk. So when we put the sidewalk back in, it doesn't start lifting and preventing the doors from. So I got an update from Weston and Sampson that that report probably should be available sometime next week, I think, by the end of next week, and then we can get that over to Habib to finish their door design. The ice plant cooling tower, we actually got the new tower placed on the old tower dunnage yesterday. We had the crane lift. So despite our biggest concerns of lead times, that didn't hit. So we are looking at likely by October 6th, it's in substantial completion operating, which still fits within ASM Global's needs to be prepared to make ice for the season. Backflow preventer is the same contractor. It's just been kind of a thing on the side. He's going to now try to put a little bit more focus in scheduling that now that he's got the crane lift and the cooling tower set. And he's going to be working with Rob to figure out the right times, because there'll be a period of time where we kind of have to shut down the dishwasher while we tap into the existing water lines and prepare to connect the new backflows. So he's just looking to figure out that schedule, when to fit it in when they don't really need the kitchen, or don't have an event in the exhibit hall where we're doing all the work actually in the ceiling just outside these windows. The network UCS upgrade, we resolved the noise complaint with the manufacturer offering 2 servers in lieu of the UCS box of equipment that was making all the noise. We started coordinating that, and then our contractor Presidio identified that some of our existing storage devices have internal batteries, and those batteries were failing. So they did not want to do the UCS upgrade change right now, because by taking storage in one of the MDF rooms and moving it to the other, they weren't confident it was reliable in case that storage device didn't hold it. You may lose and then that's a whole different game. So we started getting proposals to replace the 2 Dell storage units and the support that comes with it. That was going to be something we were going to plan on trying to be putting into next year's budget anyway, because it was running to end of life. So we've just kind of accelerated that to this year, which hopefully means next year we don't have a network project. It'll skip a couple years. I will be sitting down with Peter and verifying with some of our own IT people, just kind of creating a better 5-year capital plan to understand what's coming up with the network so we can see it coming and be better prepared. We'll work with ASM Global on that to see how it best fits into all of our financial packages that we got to figure out. So that was, we did get 1 proposal, but purchasing is requesting 3. And so right now we're right around just under 140,000 with the first proposal. I do not know if the other 2 are going to come lower, but I would say at minimum that would be a number I'll be coming back for approval on once I get those last 2. If you're okay with it and you're willing to entertain approval of the 140,000, contingent on that being the lowest bid, otherwise we'll just use whatever is lower than that. That will allow me to keep this moving in the event that it comes in before we meet next. I can just request a PO to be issued without you guys wondering, why are you acting ahead of the game?
So would that be for a maximum of 140?
Yes, that would be the request, because if anything, a proposal would come in lower. So right now that would cover it, and then when we get the exact number, I'll just use the exact number, not 140.
What are you guys' thoughts? Any thoughts, concerns on that?
We know we're showing that.
All right, so let's just take care of that right now. In regards to the USC upgrade, network upgrade, Civic Center Commission approves up to 140 for the network replacement as stated. All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? The ayes have it. Very good, thank you.
The arena chiller design is moving well ahead. I just had a meeting with the architect and engineers yesterday to do a quick review of the schematic. They're going to send that to me, and I will work with ASM Global so we can do a review of that. And the goal is to get those comments back by next week. I think when I review with Rob or whoever Sandy would like me to include in that, there's not going to be a lot to mark up. I mean, it's, yeah, put a chiller here, make it work.
This is
what
the
we're doing.
additional 500-ton chiller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this should give us all the cooling needs we need for the arena moving forward once it goes in. One thing we did confirm is the 2 existing cooling towers that are part of the air conditioning system for the arena will accommodate the 500-ton chiller. So we do not need an additional cooling tower for the additional chiller. So that's great. One, it also saves all that dunnage for any other use we may see in the future that we have already got in place for other equipment that may be needed. So, yep, that's moving forward. That also is something we're trying to get. Populous has been moving forward. We actually just got their contract and PO executed about a week and a half ago, but they had been kind of diligently working on it anyway, just to keep our timeline so that we can have that installed, hopefully, again, getting back to lead times before the peak of summer next year when they really need it. The arena lower level backup house renovation design, we are, again, in that meeting we talked about it. We're going to look to set up another site visit where there are engineers and architects to get more building details related to the initial walkthrough we had with Sandy. We've confirmed all our different contacts and who's going to be involved in discussions and who's not, so we can now really try to take that and go with it. I talked to the architect and said we may want to look at the overall picture and see if there's key areas that would be priority and maybe we need to look at phasing it. You know, if there's a couple rooms we can do that meet some of your immediate needs, hit those first. It could be 2 or 3 spaces, and then maybe if we jump into like railers, locker room plumbing, that could be another phase construction. It depends on how we need to prioritize, so there will be a discussion with ASM with the goal that we can actually get some of those higher level things done next summer. It may be harder to do the whole package next summer because there's a lot of architectural and engineering involved depending on how we reuse, relocate, and do certain things.
So you have a whole, you have me holding up the whole summer next year. And I sent you a note, I have very...
Well, that's primarily due to the structural steel work. And we are trying to do what we can to go with that as well.
I have a very active request for concerts next summer. And now's the time. And we said if this all wasn't out to bid in December, we're not going to be able to close and do the work.
We're pushing to have the portion that we can complete by next summer ready for bidding by December.
We're losing concerts over it, so...
Well, again, but that's, the structural steel is going to shut down the arena. This is us trying to do our best to add everything else we can into the arena at the same time to reduce another shutdown, and I get that.
Okay.
We are moving forward as quickly as we can, but the structural steel I understood was a priority for the rigging grid. It's already designed, we're just going to add a little additional fall protection. I got the information from Rob to know where to extend that. And then we're going to bid that out, so that also can be done next summer.
Yeah.
So we'll be doing the structural steel, we'll be doing the arena elevator. We are trying to also hit some of those high priority areas at the back of the house for next summer, so that whether...
And you thought the structural steel would be a 6 to 8 week project?
We're right around 8.
Okay. We're holding 16. So let's get it out to bid, let's get the timing so that I can pull back 8 weeks and get them booked.
Yeah.
We're holding 16 weeks.
We had only been talking about July and August, I thought. 8 weeks.
July, we have half of June, July, August, September.
Okay. We'll keep pushing.
Okay.
If I can understand what's going on and get a better idea of that steel work,
Awesome.
we can see if we can open up September better.
Yep.
I do think that the last couple of weeks in June we should still hold, because anything we can get in earlier, we don't have to get done
I
with
get it,
it.
but we're losing concerts, so let's...
I totally get that, and I'm trying to take advantage of that as much as I can with the architects and the projects.
And it's possible, I think, that, you know, if they're a 6 to 8 week project, if we had them in the room, whoever's doing the project, we should be able to rig around them, like, you know, take them out for 2 days and rig around them, because they either have the steel on the ground, it hasn't even gone up yet. I got 3 weeks of that they are bringing steel in. Then I've got 3 weeks of, well, we're putting steel up, can't put any weight on it, but you could work around it, and I could rig off of what I already have. So you and I talked about weekends, maybe totally available. They're not working on the weekend, and I could rig up around it. But until we have a contractor on site to talk about how they're gonna stage it, I can't guarantee people that they can have a Saturday in July.
And I get that, and
Okay.
so,
Okay,
On
just
top.
letting you know.
and I appreciate it, because we're gonna do our best to have that information, so we
Can
can
I
try.
ask a question just so
Yes,
I
sir.
understand? So when that's taking place, you're also proposing to do some of the downstairs work too?
Yes,
Okay.
to take advantage of the fact the arena has been closed off to events as much as possible.
I think
We're
that's-
trying to get that done, so
I support what Sandy just said too, and I think it would be in our best interest, all of our best interest, to work diligently to have the timeline nailed down as closely as possible so we don't lose any activity here. You know, this is very important to all of us.
I just want some clarity around the timelines. Sandy, what's your timeline so you can put these concerts?
Yesterday.
Oh,
Yesterday.
oh, yesterday.
Yeah, we've already lost one.
Yeah.
Okay, that can't happen. So how can we find a way to, you know, at least set a date or have a,
Not trying to beat Matt. We just need to move along as fast as we can to get it out to
Yeah.
bid, not in design.
So we
not
have
in
all the players at the
conversation.
table to have
We
this
have
conversation.
Players at the table. To say, well, we're gonna bid this out in December because we're not gonna do the work until July. We need to bid it out now because we need the players at the table to be able to say, this is how it's gonna work and this is the workaround that we can have.
All right, how's it play out?
one of the things we can look at, and it always costs more, but at the same time, you're reducing potential lost revenue,
Right.
so the cost is going into it with the idea of some of these projects, we say, you do it in 2 shifts. You're gonna do a first shift and a second shift till you're done, and you own it. So don't give me any of this, I can't find a guy for second shift.
right?
So it's not a plea to ask them to work around our events, it's own it and expect that you're working 2 shifts. So if we can take an 8-week project and turn it to 4 because they can do twice the amount, which I'm not saying is or isn't, but those are the conversations we can have with the architect and engineer to build into the bid spec saying own it.
I agree with you but then we need to bring in the contracts to be able to pay for that. And I can't do that in December. I'm doing that now. That's our booking window. Now's the time that we need to be doing that. A concert value, Melissa, is how much?
150 to 200,000.
$150,000 to $200,000 for one concert. So if it costs us another $400,000 and we're sure we can get you 2 concerts, I'd be like, yeah, sure, we can do that, but I'm losing the concerts now.
Mr. Chairman?
I'm gonna set up a meeting with ASM and Populous again, so we can have that conversation as a team and let them understand that they
They
and
know.
their subs
They know,
that know the industry.
they know,
Well, I'm talking about the numbers, more
Okay.
specific like you said, so they understand.
they know.
Lenny?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Is July, August maybe not the right time to put
No,
in
it's
this?
absolutely the right time to do it.
It is the right
It's
time
the
to do it.
slowest time in building.
Okay, all right, that was my question. Hey, maybe get the thing out to bid, but, you know, tell the contractor what the construction schedule needs to be.
Well, that's what I mean, we
July,
gotta
August
set a
doesn't work
schedule
because
saying this is the
it's
window, and if my
We can't-
architect engineer
we
said
can't
it's
predict-
possible.
We can't predict what the concert traffic's gonna be. This year, we had 1 in June, 1 in July, 1 in August, 1 in September.
Yeah, they kinda just dropped it.
They just dropped in, but there's a window to booking, and it's not
Yeah.
like I can book something 2 months before. It's now that we're booking
Right.
this summer.
I just didn't know if July, August were the ones to do it, if you say they are. then.
They are.
Did you have a question, Kate?
I did, well, I'd love to understand what the barrier is to getting this stuff to bid. So I understand that there's layers of process, and I understand that you're looking for more information from Populous and whatnot. But I feel like there's this weird gap that keeps happening in between. Are we not sharing a timeline? Do we need more clarity on what the runway is and how we need to get out ahead of it? How can we kind of keep this lag from happening again? Because we seem to get the bids out too late, get the actual information in too late, get the specs in too late, and then something else gets delayed, which is inevitable, and we miss our window. It feels like a pattern. So I'm just wondering what can we do? And in this specific situation, what do you need from us, and what could you do right now to make sure that we have bids out now, so we have conversations in?
At the moment, I do not need anything from you, other than the fact that I'm just gonna, as closer details come in, construction cost estimates come in, so that we know what we are looking at spending more than the big ballpark numbers I might have thrown down in the past, is just myself, Populous, any other architect and engineer like Weston and Sampson for the elevator, things like that, just staying on top of it, and just weekly meetings, drilling them. If I don't think progress is keeping up, getting answers to why, getting them to pick up the pace, work a little extra on this project versus some other project they thought they could get to. It really is just dogging it, just staying on top.
Yeah, are we setting a clear, are we setting a clear drop dead though, Matt? Are we saying to them that, hey, look, we're starting this process. You need to know that come hell or high water, I want to be able to determine what the actual time specs, I want to have bidders in building by end of November. So we have to work to that. If we have to double time and move some things aside, that's going to be the priority. So I'm wondering if we're setting that kind of expectation with them, or sort of letting the process run out as it is and then catching it as it goes too long. Or do we have a sense at the get-go where we're saying to them as we start these conversations, okay, let's be really clear. Our goal is to have clarity around what the downtime is going to look like no later than November, no later than December. And then backwards engineer that to make sure that they know what their toll gates and their outputs are in time to meet those goals, as do we. That's my concern. I mean, is there a way we can do that a little bit better?
I would say, okay, since I've been on primarily the project manager for the DCU projects, one of the things I do know is, like back when we were trying to do the convention center floor and all that, we were way behind the 8 ball when it comes to bidding and timing and working with them to take advantage of the opening of not doing events. And that was a big, okay, that wasn't right. So I started approaching this, and I kind of moved up 6 months of the timeline. So let's get it done this fall, not in the spring. And working with Sandy, and she's been clear with what she really needs for timelines of shutting things down. I think it was either 2 years for the convention, 18 months for the arena, or vice versa. But either way, a long time, per se. But we had already said, let's do something for next summer with less than 18 months to work with that. So I'm trying my best to get as much done within that, knowing I'm already behind the 8 ball. And I admit that. That's a learning lesson on my end of how the events get scheduled and how that truly impacts this whole process. Most of that really just comes down to learning and doing better on my end, not necessarily the information ASM provides or the commission's role. It's just, yep, okay, that's not how it should be going, and we got to catch up.
Matt, I'm not being critical of the work you're doing. I think you do a great job. I'm just wondering, so would it be helpful? I'm just making, I guess it's a suggestion that in the next conversation, or subsequent conversations too, that, if you have a really, like, maybe you and Sandy could model out what your drop dead output dates are, right? Like, so it's not kind of free flowing, but it's like, if I don't have someone in here that's getting a concrete bid So we're selecting someone by this week, and then they're going to tell us what their plan is. I can build around their plan, but without that, I have to block out 10 weeks, right? So I need that done no later than X. I think we can just probably bake it in, but I'm wondering if that needs to enter the process somehow. That's just my suggestion. That's all.
Matt, and I don't want to delay this because you're doing a great job. And you've got, this is just one of your buildings. You have a lot of other buildings that you're doing. So, and I get that what I'm a little frustrated with is that freight elevator is only at 30%. That we've talked about.
I think we're a lot closer to 70% now.
Okay, and I'm not looking, but that timing is summer as well. What I'm even more frustrated at is back of house is at 0.
Right.
And we talked about that in May as being a priority, and we talked about it in our meeting with you and Jim in January or something as being a priority, and we talked about it with Julie 30 years ago as being a priority, and we're at 0. And that's a change, I think, from Jim Swords to the new architect of Populous. And I find that unacceptable from Populous. That we're getting the team together to be able to come out to look at stuff. She came out 6 months, 7 months ago and walked the building. And we told them that Jim already had a whole file on this. Based on that, I'm not holding the summer. I'm not holding those dates. Because you're not going to be doing much back there. Doing some plumbing job for 3 weeks. We'll figure that out once I
The
get
back of the house isn't the thing that we're holding up.
Yeah, it's just unacceptable. And you need to put structural steel on this list.
I'll add it back in. I apologize.
Yeah,
You're right.
because it's not even on here. And why I don't understand we can't get out to bid on that is it's already done. It's already been bid. So just put it out and bid it.
We gotta update that fall protection piece, and then we'll bid it. I will
Bid it
add it to this list and stay on top of that.
And don't wait
And next
for other
month you
things
should
to
have
get
it
done.
done.
Just get it on the street and say that it's going to be in July. It's going to be done, and let's see where it ends up in the bid process.
Will do.
Can I, again, just a suggestion. On some of this stuff, I think it would be in everybody's best interest that when these go out to bid, that you do bid it out with 2 shifts. Because obviously time is of the essence, and it's evident right now just in this discussion on how time just is a killer, right? It kills everything, and
It can be bid as an option.
yeah, but no, even if you had 2 bids, okay, here's your just regular shift, here's your double shift. What's the importance of this item to get it done quicker? It's like, yeah, well, we need to do it in double shifts then, because we've got to get it done. Because this building is not here to sit here and look pretty. It's a revenue stream for us and for you guys as well. And I think that's where I think we have to look at some of these critical issues and maybe double them up on the work schedule, in my opinion.
And you're doing a good job.
No, I appreciate it.
I've been on the commission.
But I still recognize I can still improve too. So I appreciate the
No, I
comments
don't
and
think you
thoughts.
should look at it as a
No, it's
personal
not,
attack,
yeah,
it's
it's-
bureaucracy. But this is the first time I've really felt Sandy's frustration. I've been on the commission for a long time, and I think it's being exasperated now. There's a lot of things that haven't been on the list, and it's not a finger pointing, it's just let's reevaluate how things get done so we can move these forward. Why is the structural steel on there? If the bid's out there, I've never seen this level of frustration, so I think we're at a tipping point where we have to really, kind of change things up so that the double bid, the double work.
And the structural steel was just, I forgot to put it on the list. I knew it was there. I just forgot to add it on.
Yeah.
Because I think it's on my completed design list. I forgot to bring it back to the now let's go to construction part, and that's just paperwork issue that I felt. I will provide better updates on that.
Did you finish this already? Are you done with all this?
Let me double check.
Exterior lighting.
Exterior lighting, we are working with Populous to set up a kind of an evening site visit. I gotta meet with, and this just came up yesterday, so I gotta meet with Rob, What we want to do is be able to set up a site visit where we can have someone kind of turn some lights on and off so we can see the different effects of the interior lighting of the atrium versus the exterior lighting up high and low, kind of turn them on and off so they can understand, okay, this is what it looks like in this manner, we can accentuate or add to it this way. So we're trying to set that up, and part of it was trying to do it so we're not all coming out at 8 o'clock at night. So we are kind of reaching that point now where 6:30, 7 o'clock, we can start getting to that dusk into dark period where you want to see those different effects. So I think they're looking to see if they can come up with a couple dates, but they wanted to get some information from ASM about who would they need here to help us flip switches at 6:30 at night that may not always be here. And so I've got to work with Rob to get that info, and then we can start setting up some dates, and they're looking to do that in the next couple weeks. If, again, technically this isn't a shut down the building thing, so we could potentially, like, if we waited until daylight savings day, 4:30, 5 o'clock, we're having that meeting instead of 7:30. So I'm not saying we want to wait that long, because again, we want to get this moving, but we're right at that right time to start scheduling this. So we're going to get that going soon. The distributed antenna system, right now, we do have an answer from law on that will allow ASM Global to actually directly procure that versus the city being involved. That's more about the new 10-year agreement with ASM, which allows them to lease out space within their term, where prior they weren't getting the full 10-year type agreements, and it threw it back to us every time. This is an opening that we're going to take advantage of.
So we've already met with them, and they're coming out in mid-October with their engineer to walk the building. It's been 4 years, so they want to do an update. So looks good.
One last thing I want to do is I do want to follow up on the questions Lenny had brought up about procurement and prevailing wage and how that applies to ASM's own funding for capital investments in the building. And law came back and said they do not have to follow municipal procurement law, but they still do have to follow prevailing wage regulations. So that's what they've been doing. Anytime they do a new project, I'll kick over a prevailing wage sheet for them, and then they use that in their proposals and their construction process. But they do not have to go through like an open bid process like municipal procurement would require.
And that's an opinion from the law department?
Straight from the law.
Okay, good.
But Tim McGurthy and Jim are questioning that to the state.
For the prevailing wage?
Yeah.
I don't have that update. Right now, all I've been told is prevailing wage applies.
Yes.
So I'm just moving, I don't have an
But
update.
it is being challenged at the state level.
And at the state level, it's two different offices. Municipal procurement is not under the same office as prevailing wage.
Yeah,
So you're going to a different office on that answer.
In the short term, we're following that initial
Yeah, that's fine.
assessment for the projects that we're doing in the arena. But they're, continuing to pursue it because there's reasons why it doesn't make sense in their mind.
And just from my colleagues' perspective, and I know Kevin's familiar with this, and it's not that I'm looking to add bureaucracy into our process. I mean, we've got enough of it here. But the question is, we are the stewards for the city of this facility, and we certainly want to make sure that everything we're doing is in line with Massachusetts construction laws. I mean, the laws are in place because of corruption, let's face it. And we want to make sure that, we're doing what we're supposed to be doing. We're not crossing any lines, and we're not straddling a line. Because at the end of the day, if the Attorney General comes down, it's not going to reflect on ASM Global because you're just a subcontractor. It comes down to the city of Worcester, and it comes down to us personally. So I take that seriously.
On the two projects that we're doing, the digital signage and the suites, the impact was about $375,000.
I have one question, Matt, for you.
Yes, sir.
On the ice chiller for the rink, is there time for the what if before the season starts? Or does the season start October 6th?
It's got to be operating.
No, but I'm saying it's
There's
like
no what if.
to test it, to make sure it works properly.
The cooling tower?
Yeah.
Yes, so what they did is, so that's up. They're expecting like the rest of the physical work to be done in the next week. which gives them a week to go through the testing and verification it's working before Rob has to take on the ownership of it or actually start using it.
All right, that
So
was
it's a good question,
that was my concern.
but we are saying there's a week of construction left, and then there's a week of the controls and verification is doing it.
I love hot deadlines because it's the fastest project we've done. Hot deadlines are good.
So we're no longer acting like everything else isn't a hot deadline. One thing I did want to do on the budget sheet though, there's a couple items. The cooling tower did have a couple of change orders. They're minor in comparison to the overall project, so it's only, right now we're looking at 5,300. Some of that was some insulation in the mechanical room adjacent to the work we were doing that was falling apart or didn't even exist on some pipes. And we just rolled in re-insulating those and putting on those plastic covers so that the splash of the water doesn't continue to deteriorate the insulation like it did the last time. We also changed the steel that went right into the tank that was just falling apart because of corrosion to a polypropylene pipe that is corrosion resistant. So those are the two items, but I still have a pending change order deduct because there were some valves installed at the roof level that would have been used like if you ever drained it in the winter. But this is a cooling tower we use for the whole winter, so we don't drain it in the winter, we keep it running. So we don't need those valves. And so we're gonna get a deduct on those valves and the installation work related to that. So we should start offsetting this. Right now, it's not an official change order. We didn't put it under contract. We did what we call a construction change directive to hold that number, knowing we had a credit coming and we wanted to roll it into one change order. So when I present to you the overall cost for the change order for approval, it's at a more of an accurate number rather than a guess of what this other deduct would be valued at.
And we're still on the budget with that project anyway.
To a degree, that was the,
Approved value.
if I'm correct, that
359.
was, yeah, much
Actual
less
value,
than we originally. So right now, we're in a good spot with that. Also, the fire alarm for the convention center. One of the things that happened there is permitting got held up because they wanted an engineer stamp to say that it's technically a repair, even though we're replacing panels with more modern panels. We're not changing the system, but because it's a panel being replaced, it's considered a replacement, and normally code would require an engineer to stamp it and say it's all this, it's all right. So I had to procure the services of a fire protection engineer to help support that. This happened over the summer, so we ended up moving forward. I did this under our we had been holding that 1 million miscellaneous to deal with these things to keep it moving. That's kind of the concept I was using, is I could just keep this moving with that. That design amendment is 72,000, but I want to explain, it's not 72,000 for this one piece. We also rolled in an evaluation of the convention center fire alarm system because they've been dealing with some duct smokes that have created false alarms and required building evacuation. Current code does not require a duct smoke to send the building into alarm. It would only require it to be like a trouble to say you got a device to serve, and it would shut the unit down, but it wouldn't evacuate the building. But they need to verify the existing system to ensure there are other smokes within the occupied space that would send it to an alarm, assuming it's not just a false alarm and a duct smoke due to excessive dust or something like that. So part of it covers that, reviewing the whole system and then being able to say, okay, bring JCI and reprogram these points so it's not an alarm condition, it's just a trouble issue that then maintenance can know to go follow up and service. In the last part, there's a third piece to this also, that is going to the arena fire alarm and adding in a positive alarm sequence that they would like to see, which is kind of like a button you can hit that gives you 180 seconds to verify if it's an actual fire or not before it goes into alarm. This is addressing one of the issues Captain Bulls had for a long time with this building, and we're addressing some of these. You really need to do this stuff with fire protection that we've not done yet, and it'll also help us for future projects that are in the arena So that won't be something he'll hold up permits on anything else we're doing over there. So we've got to kind of just get started on this and have that prepared so it becomes one less of an issue that could just, you know what, and I'm not going to let you do the back of the house design until you give me this positive alarm sequence. I'm not going to let you potentially do that elevator project until I get this. There's many things that he can step in and have the authority to prevent the permit from being issued. So we're just trying to tackle these items before they trip us up later. So this 72,000 is addressing 3 different things, each of their own importance to the facility, but rather than doing them separately, we just rolled it all into one fire protection engineer and said, let's get on top of this. So that would be an item that I would also look for approval officially.
Today?
If you don't mind.
Yeah. So motion would be to approve the $72,000 for alarm system repair?
Yeah. Fire alarm design.
Fire alarm design.
Make the motions, Jim.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved.
And lastly, walk-in repairs. So ASM Global they have a door on a freezer that is literally just barely hanging on by its hinges. It's had a lot of issues, and so we need to get that door replaced. They got a quote for, I believe the door was $7,000 or $11,000, and then they have a walk-in cooler where the whole refrigerant system just died in place, and we got to replace the whole thing. The compressor, the condenser fan, the refrigerant system itself. Combined, I think they were right around 19,000, 17,000. I forget what their numbers were. But because it reached that $1,000 capital threshold, it came back to the city to work on. We have that now. We have a PO for Renaud to do it, but our proposal did, again, coming back to our procurement rules, we're now at 29,000. But we have a PO issued, and we will move forward with getting that done. The vendor is Renaud, and they've already confirmed that they've already ordered the equipment. So we are moving as quickly as we can to get those repairs done for ASM, because it's another piece that's affecting their operations rather significantly.
Do you need approval on this?
I would like approval on that too. That just actually came in, and we got the PO issued just last week, so.
Motion to approve walk-in repairs in the amount of $29,850.
Make the motion, Mr. Chairman. Spend the money like drunken soldiers today.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
So moved. Thank you.
And lastly, just a note here where you see the orange block and I put the arrow pointing up. Last time I got approval on these items, they were separate items down here for different designs. They all went to Populous, so I just moved it up to a change order under Populous's line, but it's the same value that was originally approved, just grouped into one number now. So that's just giving you an idea that next time those 3 items on the budget will disappear as discrete items and just fall under Populous's line item. And the other project update stuff is where you get the more detailed separation of those pieces. And that's all I have for
Through
today.
the chair, Matt, did you need the $5,369
Actually,
cents approved?
if you don't mind, that's a good point. My hope is it will be less, but if you can approve that, then we can be confident moving forward.
Motion to approve up to $5,369.10 for ice plant cooling tower construction.
I'm off my limit, Kevin.
I make that motion.
Can I get a second?
Aye.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Hearing none? So moved. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and thank you, Kevin, for that reminder. Yeah, that's my update. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Matt. Appreciate that. Number 4, ASM Global reporting.
Yeah. So, sent you a note, we are now Legends Global, no more ASM. And Legends, in combining with ASM, came up with a new brand, Legends Global, 450 venues, across 6 continents, We do over 20,000 events, or 200,000 events, 165 million guests, and now have nearly 100,000 employees. So it's a big company. And already they've reorganized at the corporate level, hiring a lot of people in a variety of divisions, and I think we're going to see a lot of that trickle down here locally to the positive. We did have a leadership summit in San Francisco. In previous years, it has been GMs, AGMs, and finance. This year, they added the hospitality division, food and beverage, as well. So Tom McMaster, who's our director of food and beverage, also attended with us. It is a crazy packed 2-day meeting. We go in the day before because it's West Coast, travel the day before, 7 a.m. in the morning, get up and just run with a variety of meetings on sustainability, operations, finance, food and beverage, bookings, HR, and then they recap the past year of the company and then give us a look forward on what the initiatives are going to be for the company for the coming year. Each of us kind of represents a different piece out there. I focus on the arena meetings, Jim focuses on the convention center meetings that are separate and distinct. Obviously Melissa, the finance, and Tom, the food and beverage. There's a couple of general sessions, but generally we're all in our own meetings, so it allows us to cover everything that's going on. It was good. We're preferred on the West Coast, but it was good. DCU naming rights partnership, we have now benchmarks in our current extended naming rights. They extended for 3 years, and then have an option to extend another 7 to put it into that 10-year time period that it was originally. They wanted us, it's new leadership at DCU, they wanted to put in some very specific actions that we needed to do to see if they could get improvements in areas that they were looking. Some of the key stats, they put in a membership door, that if you're a DCU member, you can come in a door that always has a shorter line, but also when you go through that door, you can get an upgrade of your seat, you can get concession coupons, a variety of items that make DCU members see value in the building and the naming rights. Last year, we did 8,774, but we're seeing that the door is becoming more and more active for all the events, so word's getting out there, which is a good thing. Survey results, they asked us to add to our post-survey for all individuals that come to the arena a variety of questions about, do you know what DCU is? Do you bank at DCU? Do you know what the sponsorship's about? There's percentages there of how people responded to that. The digital marketing growth was amazing. They asked us to improve our social engagement, website traffic, and opt in on our database. The percentages are huge. I think their benchmark for us was like 8%, 10%, and as you can see, we're nearly 50% in all categories. And then performance incentive achieved. The metrics that they had, we achieved 10 out of the 15 that they had outlined for us. The other 5 were not achievable because they were things that DCU was unable to get into place. So by the contract, $24,000 is the amount of incentive that they would pay us, but they did notify us in the last week that they're going to process the full 100% to us, which is $30,000. So we got 100% of the incentives, yeah, which is good. Next one, corporate has a lot of assessments that they do out in the buildings now, that they come out to the buildings, operations, finance. This particular assessment was a sustainability assessment. We were able to get the individuals that are responsible for it to meet with John Odell as well, make sure that we're aligned with the city's initiatives, and if there's anything that we might be able to do in the building to enhance that, or vice versa. The environmental bullets are there of what they're looking for, but it also includes their assessment, investment in people, encouraging buildings to do internships, apprenticeships, continuous learning, etc., as well as activate into the communities with doing local grassroots kind of programs with nonprofits. We do all of that. We had rave numbers on the assessment. but it was good to have them come in, be able to document all that, and now we have goals for continuing to improve in all those areas, so. The sound upgrade is complete. It was on Matt's report. It has gotten rave reviews. We got some press on it. So far, 2 concerts have come in and asked to tie into it. That's never happened before. The reinforcement underneath the balconies is like very big for the bands when they come in because there is kind of an echo underneath there. So we're able now to be able to tie in a touring sound system to our sound system. So yeah, good stuff. Service awards, we do a breakfast every September, providing service awards. We had 130 year, 115 year, and 4 1-year awards that we gave out. So that was good this year. We get a lot of comments on the longevity of a lot of our employees. Jim spoke about it at the breakfast. That people come back, our repeat clients come back, and are thrilled to be dealing with the same people, have knowledge of the event. So it's a point of pride for us here. Brand new concert, this is one of the concerts this summer. We were the only New England play on it. They have not toured since 2017. They haven't put out any product either. And so this drew both national and international attendees in addition to the local attendees because everybody was dying to see them now that they've come out. Legends has pushed us to do more backstage for artists when they come through based on what their particular interest might be. In this particular case, we brought in comfort dogs, 4 comfort dogs that were in the backstage area for the crew and the staff to be able to get a little dog love while they were here. Do Perfect also was this summer. 9,000 fans, sold out, only New England play. We did a grassroots social media program that involved local businesses. Love to get out there and make sure that local businesses are getting touched by what we're doing. In this particular case, these individuals are from the Texas area that was hit with the major flood. So they had put a Facebook page up that if it reached a certain level, they would match. If it reached $50,000, they would match $50,000. So they were short $2,800 or $2,600, and so we gave them a check for $2,600. We took it to the cap, and then they matched it to the next. So yeah, it was very timely with when they were here, and that was the charity of their choice. Ice Nine Kills was here with the ScreamCon in the convention center. Last year they played outdoors during ScreamCon. This year they wanted to come inside. This was their first arena performance that they've ever done. They had a variety of other smaller hard rock, heavy metal artists that played with them. Did really well, looked great. And the founder was from Swampscott, so it was like come home kind of week. He also is the founder of ScreamCon, so that was terrific. He will probably look to try to find another artist of that genre to perform next year for ScreamCon and not be himself, but it was terrific. 6,000 fans. Jim, you want to talk about
going into the convention? So a few of the recaps. At the end of June, we had the Mass Professional Firefighters. It's a biannual conference. 900 firefighters from around the state for 3 days in the building. Spent a good amount of money. They'll be back in 2 years. First time event, the Northeast Bridge Preservation Partnership meeting. So this is all people involved with the design and construction of bridges, major bridges, over highways and rivers and whatnot. So it was based out of Michigan State University, and so the people from around the country. They had such a great experience here that another one of their offices based out of Michigan State has already put a hold on the convention center for a pavement national conference for this coming April. So, which was really good. Filled up all the hotels in the city. And then Silver Screen, which we already talked about, thousands of people in cosplay uniforms or horror type things. And this year they added the 3rd floor of the convention center too. Again, every hotel in the city was filled with people from around the country for it. So it's a lot of fun.
We added Nate Bergazzi in April. Actually, the hockey team, it was right before their schedule was published, and they were kind enough to work with us to move a scheduled hockey date. Again, it wasn't published yet, to the following day, which is Easter, so that we could get this particular artist into the building. It's selling very well, so looking forward to that. Also upcoming for the immediate future, Alabama, Disney on Ice, Hot Wheels, Monster Trucks, and Trans-Siberian Orchestras returning for 2 performances. So looking forward to all of those. In the convention center?
So a couple of the upcoming events: Society of Respiratory Care. Everybody involved in that association. It was supposed to be here next year, but the person that was going to run it this year fell off the board. So the person that ran it the last year said, "I'm just coming back to us to make it easy." So they're still on board next year, Joe. KOLIS, which is a company that operates the MBTA, they do a diversity procurement fair. This will be their 2nd annual one with us. And then that is a behavioral conference for people in that industry. It's about 1,000 people per day for 3 days. And they use 100% of the building.
Social media report, nearly 2.8 million views on Facebook for the summer. That's normally a slower period for us, but with the concert activity we had, and in particular the Dude Perfect Instagram that they did, we were able to increase 114% over the previous period. So very busy and very active in social media for the summer. And then the next slide is the media coverage that we've had. And then the next slide, we are adding Wonder Bar as our pizza provider to the building. Yeah, looking forward to it. They've been at Polar Park, so they're well vetted, that they know what they're doing, can keep up with the traffic. They are going into the retail area on the corner, but they are not going to be servicing the downtown traffic. They'll only be here for events and facing on the inside. But there, if you remember, there's a barn door there that allowed access. We're going to keep that barn door open and utilize the space for a cocktail bar and increase kind of the more creative cocktails in the building. We just do like basic gin and tonics. This will be more of a creative cocktail bar and also be able to sell pizza in there. We're also going to be able to utilize that corner for pre-parties. So if somebody wants to come into a birthday party before a Railers game, they can go into that space. And then when the building opens up, we open up the door and they can come into the building. Yeah, looking forward to it. And they've been wonderful partners for us, and obviously there are local restaurants, so that's terrific too. Food and beverage has entered the Fork It Over contest, which was part of the Girl Scouts fundraiser. They did this years ago with the previous chef, and so they're back. They won 2nd place in the Judge's Choice Sweet category with utilizing the Samoa's cookies of the Girl Scout cookies. They are adding their dessert treat to our permanent menu. It was delicious. A mousse with the coconut around the rim there, so nice addition to their basic menu. They also provided backstage catering to Shinedown. They did not perform here in the summer, but they were here for a 5-day period for their rehearsal before they went to Fenway Park. So they utilized our catering division to provide all our catering backstage. Food and beverage congratulates our catering sales manager, Brianna, had her first child in July. She's been off all summer on FMLA, but in maternity leave, and will be coming back on Monday, and we'll welcome her return. Operations department, corporate now has all kinds of data that we send them, and all kinds of software that they are looking at, anything from utilities to licenses to improvements. This particular report comes out on a monthly basis to my boss's boss and my boss and myself, and basically it is reviewing that we are getting our repairs, preventative maintenance, OSHA compliance and inspections done in the building. We were at 100% on one category, 99% on the other category. I won't put this in every month. I wanted to put it in because I think that one of the things that Legends is bringing to the table is a whole lot of corporate oversight. We're a terrific building. We've had a lot of assessments done. Our bosses have come in and said, oh, everything runs smooth and everything, but, they put this process in place so that there's another set of eyes looking at everything. So it's a good thing. Always good to have another set of eyes. The security department, their picture there, they worked with O'Keefe Tech School to bring the students out and do a walkthrough to talk about security procedures in today's society in public assembly facilities. We try to do, and any teacher or school that reaches out and asks for tours or something for the kids, we do all of those with somebody in the building. This particular one was hosted by the security department. And then during the Shine Down rehearsal, our security officer, Paul Page, was here, Johnny on the spot every morning when they arrived, and they gave him a collector item coin, which has become very popular now with merchandise, these collector coins, when they left. Thank you, Kim. The next slide, physical plant department. We do a boom lift every summer. We do a lot of our annual OSHA inspections at that time period. And while it's in here, we do a lot of other things like replacing lights, painting high areas, vacuuming all those black curtains that come down. So all that was taken care of in the summer. And then the staff on site has been working on the corner restaurant. We moved, there was a small window there. We moved that to another location and then put in a larger window for Wonder Bar. We're doing all that with in-house labor and Legends Global's investment money. All these changes. We're adding a large pizza oven into that location, and then the other location where we used to do pizza, we're going to add a supersized fry concept, and all that money is also coming from the Legends Global investors. IT department, he's been sending out these reports because DAS has been slow to get into the building. We replaced all the Ticketmaster antennas throughout the building to ensure that we had better coverage for tickets coming into the building. And then he improved. We had a failure of our internet at one point, and we were dark on internet, which obviously in any business is a killer these days. The city put in a fully redundant system for some substantial cost, so that would never happen. It was good that we went out because we determined that the redundant system was never deployed correctly. So I think we've been in our system 4 or 5 years. So our IT guy, Pete, was able to work with the city and the company that installed to get all of that squared away, and now we're operating with that redundancy that we need. Finance, Melissa?
Okay, so fiscal year 2025 included with 41 more event days than budgeted. Total event income exceeded budget by $670,950, driven primarily by strong performance in concerts, graduations, and conventions. These gains were offset by underperformance in certain other categories. There was a savings to indirect expenses totaling $261,000, and as a result, net income for the fiscal year 2025 was $1,377,880.
So I also went back and looked at, where were we last year? 1.3 million is obviously a great result, particularly against budget. Last year we were at $1 million, just over $1 million. So we've had a 31% improvement in bottom line profit.
That's good.
Yeah, it's true.
And what do you attribute that to?
It's always about number of events.
Number of events.
Yeah, it's always about that.
Sandy, 41 more event days than budgeted, is that normal to have to be?
It's so fluctuating. The tough part about this industry is we don't produce our own product. We have stuff, is there product out there? And if there is product out there, are we able to get that product to come here versus somewhere else? There have been years that, obviously COVID years, there's just been product out there, so you can't make any money. So the other thing I will say to credit is we get great returns thanks to Jim and the team on repeat business in the convention center is huge. And food and beverage upsells. People are back as far as spending money, and food and beverage has done, one, they have a terrific sous chef, they have a terrific team, and the more they can do upsells. So concerts drive a lot of traffic, advertising money, companies coming in and spending money on branding. Number of event days, number of attendees in the building, and food and beverage are the big
The
drivers.
grab and go has been real popular.
Yep.
That's really helped.
Yep.
I think the Wonder Bar is going to be great too.
Yeah, someday we'll probably come back and try to do more permanency to that grab and go.
Yeah, that was really fun.
Yeah, it does very well, so. We continue to, sorry to take your.
Now we're looking at July, total event income for July exceeded budget by $120,000. Driven primarily by Dude Perfect performing $75,000 above expectations. Additional revenue from Shinedown rehearsal contributed $40,000. As a result, net income for July finished $96,000 ahead of budget.
You want to back up since I missed a slide there? Just wanted to call out Steve, is our new ice manager, 24 years of experience in ice operations. He has absolutely guaranteed me that we will have the best ice in New England. So, going forward, we do an annual hiring event to try to raise the number of people in the building. Those are all our positions that are available part-time in the facility. We had 170 applicants come through with 107 new hires taking place. We were quite surprised that it was down from last year because the word on the street is there's a lot of people looking for work. So we had high expectations that we would exceed where we were last year. The good news though is the quality of the people that we got was very good. And last year we put it out as a job fair. And we got a lot of people coming in thinking that they were going to the job fair that we do, the third-party job fair, and didn't realize that it was only for this building. So it could be attributable to that as well. But we've got 107 new ones. We are still very, very challenged with lack of staff and use a lot of temp agencies, unfortunately. Also, new hire to the team. You want to take this, Jim, since he's yours? Oh, no, Connor. Melissa, since he's yours.
So we're pleased to announce the promotion of Connor Nidry to the Assistant Box Office Manager. He transitioned from part-time to full-time, bringing valuable experience and leadership to the team. He previously served as supervisor for the Worcester Common Oval and also gained ticketing experience at Fuller Park. So we're excited to have Connor on our team.
And Jim?
And going into our contracts, so quite a few contracts we've produced over the last couple of months. I just named a few. MHEC, which is the Massachusetts Higher Education Consortium. They were just here last week. A very demanding client. Everything went incredible. They've actually gone on to contracts for 2026 and 2027. Uses everything in this side of the building. So it's everybody involved in purchasing for the school departments throughout the state. So it's a state-run organization. Performance Food Group. They were here many years ago, and then they built a brand new facility in the Springfield area. Some new management there want to bring their events out into the field a little bit more. So we have a trade show for them and a meeting for them coming up this coming year. So great to have them back on board. A lot of the graduations have gone to contract, and we went to contract for the Republican State Convention that's planning on being here next year. So there's quite a few things in there. The site visits, quite a few site visits over the last couple of months. We're always busy with that. One of them is TECA, which is a virtual online school. So we're in the process of putting a contract together for them. They're looking at bringing their graduation here, but it will be in the arena side of the building because it's about 400 students. And then just some of the other proposals we've done, which is the next page. Massachusetts Community College is looking at doing their graduation here. Solid State Hockey, I'm actually putting their contract together today. It's an expo for everybody in the hockey world, so it's going to be next summer. And the Democratic Convention with Discover Central Mass, we put a proposal together to host them next June as well, so that's looking very promising. And then we welcome a new member to our team, Evan, filling out a vacant position in our events department. So Evan comes to us from the APEC Center, has had training in Info, which is our booking system already, and he's fit right in. We've already put him into some manager on duty shifts because of his experience in doing it already, where he's been in the past. So we're thrilled to have him aboard.
And before we close, we did put in here an update on the suites and the digital signage. Suites are banging along. They will be open for opening of the railers, and they're looking terrific. They're ADA compatible, so that improvement was well needed in the building all these years, not somewhere that the city was able to spend money. And so I think they're going to come out terrific. We'll have a walkthrough for your next meeting for those that might want to check them out. In digital signage, we had prioritized the 100 level ring beam to be ready for opening of the hockey team on October 18th. So they are diligently getting that piece done, and then they'll move on to the concourse signs and the outdoor marquees. And so it's moving right along. Yeah, it's going to look terrific.
Good work, good work. Just one quick question. On all the events you had over the summer that were very successful, the promoters happy? You know, what's the feedback on that?
Getting started. We just did an event, and the backstage, we'll never do that event again, and I hope that promoter doesn't stop coming, because it's the second largest promoter in the world. We had no hot water in the dressing rooms. We had toilets overflowing. From day one, it was, or from moment one of them arriving, it was, well, I told them this is what an older building is like. And I reaffirmed to them that the city's put in $50 million in the past 6 years. I mean, it's not short of the city working hard, but a lot of it went to front of house and a lot of it went to systems.
Yeah.
And that it's high on the priority list with the city to get the backstage done. But honestly, I've said that for 3 or 4 years.
Yes.
And for me, it's kind of like, that's why we're doing heavy metal.
Yeah, right.
Because heavy metal will get over it. We're just not even close to being in the major.
So we got that part right.
So.
All right.
Mr. Jim, can I ask
Yes,
just a quick question, Jim? Matt, the engineering firm, what was their name? Do we have like dedicated staff that we, you know, that services
I'm
this
working
account?
with the exact same people from that team every time I meet.
Okay.
And even their subcontractors are dedicated to this site, so when I talk to their
it just seems there's a
electrical,
disconnect there somewhere, you know.
to some degree, and some of this also, again, like I said, we actually technically just got them under contract for stuff like this within the last 2 weeks. But despite that, they were willing to work on the arena chiller, get that going, but now it's under contract, so they're now trying to just get all their subs in and say, let's go do this. So I'm hoping that we can show much more progress by the next meeting, let alone through this winter, so you can see that we're all back on and just driving forward, so we'll see.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
That's our report.
Very good, excellent, thank you. Our next meeting is October 23rd. If there are no further questions, the motion would be to adjourn.
So move, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
So moved. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.